Hey guys, in this After Effects tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can create this VHS/CRT retro monitor look. This is a really easy to make overlay with just a handful of effects and a free plugin. It's quite versatile to edit and it's completely procedural. So with that said, let's begin. So before we jump into After Effects, let's see our assets. Here I have these two images which I made blending different sources. One is this grungy noise texture and another one is this reflection overlay. Along with these textures, I am going to be using one of my favorite plugin, Quick Chromatic Aberration 3, which is a free plugin for creating chromatic aberration from Plugin Everything. So please go get it and install it. Now let's go into After Effects. In After Effects, I have already imported our assets and created this 1080p comp with 24 fps and it's around 6 seconds long. And I have added this text layer. And this is our base comp where you want to put your logo, text or graphics. Basically whatever you want to get affected by this overlay. I created a new comp with the same dimensions and time and named it First Build. I dragged in the base comp inside it, then added an adjustment layer and renamed it Effects. The first effect I added was the Venetian blind effects by going Effects, Transition, Venetian blinds. In the effect, I changed the transition completion to 30 and the width to 5. Then I duplicated this effect and changed the direction to 90. You can see how it have already started affecting our text. After this, I added the wave warp effect by going Effect, Distort, Wave Warp. I changed the wave warp to noise, the wave height and width to 3, and this just adds this noise over everything and displaces it a bit. After this, I changed the wave speed to 0.3, and now if we take a RAM preview, you can see how this noise is moving through this text, creating these jittery movements. After this, I dragged in our grunge BG and put it behind the comp. I scaled it down and repositioned it. You can see how these effects are affecting this texture. And since we have transition effects, if I toggle the transparency button, you can see it's not fully opaque. Don't worry, we're going to fix it in the final build. I added another adjustment layer, renamed it Color Effects, and added the tint effect. Now I added this effect to change the hue to this green, but if you don't want to recolor, you can skip this. There's no issue. After this, I added another adjustment layer, renamed it Transform, then went to Effect, Distort, Transform. In the Transform effect, I added a wiggle expression to the position property, and this will make the text wiggle around a bit. And just to make sure the edges aren't cutting off, I scaled it around 103. I created a new white solid and renamed it DMap. I started drawing masks over it. Then I animated this layer going up from the bottom. After this, I duplicated this layer, and in each duplicate, I changed the mask a bit. After this, I spread these layers across the timeline and pre-comped them. I dropped this comp over the base comp, and under the effects layer, I changed this comp's opacity to around 50% and set the blending mode to classic color dodge. Now if I zoom in, you can see how this creates this nice displacement lines. After this, I created another adjustment layer and renamed it Displace. I put this layer under our transform layer, then went to Effect, Distort, Displacement effect. For the displacement map layer, I chose my DMap comp and I completely turned the vertical displacement off. I set the horizontal displacement to luminance. I kept the value to 5. I think it didn't need it too much distortion. And now if we take a RAM preview, you can see how it looks. Now let's finish this with few more effects. I created another new comp and renamed it Final Build. I dragged our first build comp inside this new comp, Then I created a new gray solid and put it behind this comp, eliminating our transparency problem. After this, I added another adjustment layer and renamed it Noise and CA. I added the noise effect, turned the color noise off, and added around 10% of it. Then I added the free quick chromatic aberration plugin and set the position to 4. And that's all I did in this plugin. This creates this nice RGB split around the edges. Now the green might blend with the text color, so keep that in mind. I created another new adjustment layer and renamed it CC. I added the curve effect and made a slight S curve to add back some of that contrast. Then I added the glow effect, changed the threshold to 30, radius to 70, and intensity to 0.4. This creates this nice fall of glow which looks pretty good. I dragged in our reflection asset and put it on the top and set the blending mode to screen. I also added a curve effect and, like before, made a S curve to add back a bit more of that contrast. For the final step, I added another adjustment layer and added the posterized time effect set to 12. And it's done. So, as you can see how easy and versatile this effect is. One thing I forgot to add in the beginning is I made this project in 16 bits per channel, which you can change by alt-clicking on this button. With 16-bit, you'll get more color range and less bending artifact, so keep that in mind. As always, you can grab this project file from my Gumroad page. In the end, I want to add start experimenting with different graphics. Why not throw in some title design in there, or some logos, or maybe some footage. Add in some more additional effect to get a completely new look. I've given you the base for this effect, now it's your job to take it even further. So please do experiment with more variations. As always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, comment down your thoughts, and please do subscribe for more motion graphics content. Thank you all for watching, take care of yourself, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye guys.